Well, I had an idea. You know how originally we were going to start off, you were going to like make a song for the podcast or something, Sid?
Yeah, I was going to make a song.
Well, I figured we should go ahead and open up with, we had a really solid parody song going. As you famously may know, listeners, because we have just started right now, there's a little famous Knuckles rap in Sonic Adventure 1 that is very beloved for its just masterful lyrics. It's like, yo, my name is Knuckles. Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. You know how it goes, right?
No, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, you don't really play Sonic games. I love Sonic games, though. I know how it goes. We had one whole sentence done for that parody we had so far in like a gaming-related scene or sense. And here's what we had so far.
Okay.
Yo, my name is Trey. Unlike Red, I'm not sus. I'd rather flex my victory royales.
It was, you know what? We had some thoughts on like an announcement trailer.
I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good, right, guys?
You know what? I thought it was really good. You had sus in it. That's very Zoomer friendly.
Yeah, I love it. I think we have something going there.
I totally forgot about that. By the way, have you posted the announcement video for season 2 yet?
No, I haven't. It's going to go up either like tonight or maybe tomorrow.
So this is season 2. Welcome to season 2. Video games
everybody,
are hard.
We're back
season 2
on a new channel. Oh my god.
Yeah, Sid and Trey VG. Dude,
yes.
We should have called it Sid and Trey VG.
Just always add VG to stuff because why not?
Just for no reason.
By the way, so I'm Trey. He's Sid.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched any of season 1 and you happen to not see my other YouTube channel, Average Trey VG, and you're brand new to this, that's who we are.
Yeah, I'm Sided Williams. I was part of season 1, and now I'm part of season 2. We had an announcement trailer. If you saw the announcement trailer that's going to go live, I had nothing to do with it. Trey wrote it and made it. It was perfectly fine. He's sitting in a chair. It's great.
It took me like 15 minutes to record it, and then I edit it together like in an hour or two. I had like a funny little intro, but other than that, wasn't too bad.
We had like this elaborate other bit that we were like writing with KO, another friend of ours, just hanging out in a Discord call where we made like this whole bit where we interrupted some other pair's Discord call because they were like talking about how good season 1 was or something.
Oh yeah, it was genius.
Like, you probably have the script somewhere because you were screen sharing it.
Yeah, actually, I have the script up right here. It was going to be hilarious, guys. Just believe us.
We were writing it the night after Pokemon Snap came out because there's a line in it that says like, "Oh, Pokemon Snap sucks."
Or basically, it was going to be like 2 other people who weren't us having a casual Discord conversation.
Yeah,
and let's see. I'm reading the script right now. They're saying like, oh yeah, so it starts out like the person 2 pulls his mic through a tube. You know, like the famous, whenever you begin a Discord call, someone like gets their mic up. It's like, they're like getting it ready.
I would do it, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah, we'll spare you the actual noise. You know what we're talking about though. And yeah, it's like the person 2 is saying, oh yeah, I was just re-listening to episode 41 of Video Games Are Hard. And the other guy's like, oh yeah, that's a good one. Adef was a great guest. Yeah, it's been so long since season 1 ended. I wish they'd bring that back. Oh, well, anyway, have you seen the new Pokemon Snap? It looks pretty boring. And then we cut in like explosions of like us joining the call.
We just invade a Discord call, even though that's not a thing that you can do.
we like hack into their Discord call. We just join. And then you're like, yeah, it looks like trash.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm going to defend that. I think Pokemon Snap could have been so much better, but
hey, I heard it was actually pretty good for people who enjoyed the original game.
Did you? I don't know.
Someone in my chat said it was good, but I have no nostalgia for that game personally, so I wouldn't know.
I have a lot of nostalgia for it, and I was talking about it. If we had a podcast at that time, I would have said something along the lines of, if a Pokemon Snap sequel came out in like 2005 or like 2006, like for the Wii on release, I'd be so in.
But now, is it just a little too late?
It's 24 years later.
True.
Or like 23 years later. I'm like, I don't need this.
But hey, there's been crazy super cycles of gaming development aside from that. You know, the new Metroid game, Metroid Dread, is going to be the first 2D Metroid that's not just a remake in like 19 years.
That's hype.
Because like Metroid Fusion was 2002 or something. And yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
See, I never played, I don't think I've ever played Super Metroid. Like, I've owned it for free on 3DS and, like, the Switch and everything, but I've never beaten it. And
I touched Super Metroid. I didn't really get, like, into it at all, but I thought about it for, like, a brief moment.
Yeah, but Metroid Dread is what, Portal 3? That's
it
the
looks
joke.
like very Portal-esque enemies from what I saw.
It just looks like the balls. It looks like the...
Yeah.
I can't remember what the Portal 2 character's name is. That's the voice of the guy that's from The Office. I can't remember his name.
For some reason, I'm thinking of like the name... Wait, was the robot's name like Dewey or something?
I don't remember.
Stewie? No, that's Family Guy. I don't know. I haven't played Portal 2
Dewey
in so
is
long.
from Family Guy?
No, Stewie is from Family Guy. I was thinking of the robot's name.
Okay, what were we talking about? We were talking about the release. Anyway, we were going to make a release trailer. It was elaborate. We were going to have Ginger involved, Ginger and KO, even though we didn't talk to Ginger about it.
Yeah, high level melee player Ginger.
And we were going to get KO involved. And then we just kind of like, I think you DM'd me like 2 days later, and then I just didn't talk about it, and then it just kind of went away.
See, the thing is, if we made this really hilarious, over-the-top intro, it would have been amazing if we actually followed through with it. But at the same time, the purpose of this podcast is not to be some overblown, like, high-effort, crazy production. It's really just supposed to be the public's chance to listen in on Sid and I talk about whatever we talk about in a voice call as low effort as possible, just a thing to do on the side for fun. And I feel like if we went through with this trailer, it would kind of go against the spirit of what the podcast is about.
For sure.
Because it's just, you know, it's just us talking about maybe speedrunning stuff, because we became friends through Speedrunning Sunshine back in the day. Mm-hmm. We still do to this day, just not nearly as much and not nearly as passionately, but it's still...
not nearly as passionately.
The spark is still flickering, the little flame of
yeah, it exists.
Yeah, somewhere deep down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just really just us talking. Maybe speedrunning, maybe recent gaming news, maybe we'll have a guest on, all that kind of stuff.
See, even what we've done so far is a heightened version of what we'd usually do. We'd be like sitting at. This is what like everybody knows this Discord call or this Skype call or whatever, where you just kind of sit there, you're just hanging out. You like 10 minutes can go by and you guys don't really say anything.
We try to make it feel as casual as possible. It's episode 1, so we got to up our game a little bit more than usual. But keep in mind that the feel of the podcast is to feel like you're listening in on just a regular Discord call, essentially.
Sure.
Okay, how would you word it better than that?
Well, they're listening, but like we're talking to them.
Yeah, we're acknowledging you guys because we love you, but at the same time, we're just sort of shooting the shit.
You throw out love so flagrantly.
Like I don't love them, but maybe I do. Anyway,
it's so for a timeline. All right,
okay.
Set a timeline. This is episode 1 of season 2, right?
Yes, we haven't 50 done a recording of season 1 on my main channel, Average Trey VG.
Yes, we haven't done a recording. So today we're recording on June 24th. Okay. This might go up the 30th. I don't know when we're planning
before
to
July
post this,
1st, as we promised.
Before July 1st, that's the plan. But that's when we're recording right now. We haven't done a recording since Steve was announced in Smash.
That puts things into perspective a little bit.
It was since last October.
Yep.
I thought it was longer than that. I thought it was like a year and a half.
No, it's been about 9 months.
And so Steve's in Minecraft. That's like the first thing that I wrote down. I'm just like, I would talk about this, I think, to some extent.
Yeah, we don't play Ultimate anymore, but we would probably still mention it because it's kind of important.
We play Melee sometimes.
I only ever play Melee against Sid if he asks me, because it's kind of fun. We're not super serious about it. Maybe Sid might get more serious if he wants to, like if rank comes after or something, but we'll see.
My Zelda is serious, you know?
Oh yeah. Sid's Zelda is like the perfect strat for friendlies, because if he wins, it's like, damn, this guy is sick. But if I win, it's like, well, it's just fucking Zelda. So
yeah, you just beat my Zelda, bro. But yeah, so we can do an update on like what I know Trey has update things. I don't really have update things.
I wanted to just recall what we've been up to the past, or what happened the past 9 months while we weren't doing episodes, I guess.
We were chilling, you know?
Well, yeah, I was super chilling for most of that time, because actually starting like the last month season 1 was going, I was unemployed. I no longer had my previous job. And I continued to be unemployed for about 6 months straight. I was just chilling. I was able to make more videos. I actually made I finished the Why Do Speedrunners Hate Their Runs video, which actually became pretty popular to my surprise. In that time, much quicker, because I didn't have a job anymore, so I could obviously put more time into it.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, immediately after that video came out, which was around the time that we ended season 1, for like the next month to month and a half straight, I did pretty much nothing except for play Xenoblade 2 on my Switch. Like, I went ham on that game. I did pretty much everything there is to do in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's a great game. I enjoyed it more than 1. Slightly, I'd say. Had much better battle mechanics, in my opinion. So there was that. Played Xenoblade 2 because I was fucking unemployed, just, chilling.
We both really... you know what? Trey jumped into video games and tried to like the hard video games, to be like, hey, we're video games are hard. We're going to beat hard video games, and then talk about them. But I kind of like quit like trying to beat video games.
Really?
Like you played Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2.
When did I play Dark Souls 1 again? That was when I was unemployed as well, I think. It was.
Did we? I don't think we. I should have re-listened to our last couple podcasts to like figure out where we were.
I cannot remember. I feel like I might have played Dark Souls 1 when I was recording the podcast. Maybe. Yeah, my timeline's all mixed up. I can't remember.
I don't know. You did Dark Souls 1. I beat Dark Souls 1 like years ago, and then we were just like, okay, we're gonna beat the Dark Souls games, and you played Dark Souls 2.
Yep.
And really like Dark Souls 2.
I actually, controversial take, I preferred 2 to 1 slightly. I mean, 1 had its strengths, obviously, but as a whole, I preferred 2.
I played 2, and I didn't get stuck. I'm gonna say I didn't get stuck. But actually, okay, I kind of got stuck.
But in a dumb way, though.
In a dumb way, and because I thought that there were like 3 great souls, because that's what happens in Dark Souls 1, like 3 main collectible things, and then go to the final boss.
Yep.
And I couldn't find the final boss, and instead I found DLC that I didn't know was DLC. So I thought that was the final boss.
And actually what's funny is I had the exact same experience when I found that DLC. I assumed it was like part of the main game as well.
But yeah, I found it, and I beat the Fume Knight. Is it Fume?
Fume Knight. Yeah, he was... Dude, that guy took me like 2 hours to beat the first time. But actually, interestingly enough, when I went back to beat him on New Game Plus 1 difficulty using a bonfire ascetic, which you can like raise the difficulty of an area with. Long story. Anyways, I went back to beat him again to like get his weapon to use for something I wanted to do. And I actually beat him relatively fast. So like I definitely improved at those bosses throughout my playthrough.
Yeah. But yeah, so after I beat that Fuse Knight area and all that, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, and Trey tells me that I missed a boss, and I'm like, I don't know, I left.
I don't care
because I got the crown, and I put on the crown, and I was just like, well, I get like nothing for this, cool. And then I left, and the last area, I actually looked it up, in order to find it. So I kind of cheated. I actually cheated in a video game. And
what?
I rail against cheating, but I don't remember what specifically I cheated for.
I know what it was if you want me to tell you.
Did I cheat for the well?
Actually, I think, didn't I tell you like a hint towards how to do that?
I guess.
I think I told you
had
to like
jump...
check the cat, what the cat sells. And he sells you a ring that like halves your falling damage so you can fall down the well safely.
Dumb.
And you're like, oh, I just didn't think to go down the well for some reason.
See, what's funny is that like frame 2 of the game, I found the well and I was just like, oh, I can jump down this, and then I jumped down the well like 6 times. Just like on stream. I think I was streaming.
They're like, oh, there's something down there. Oh, crap.
And then I just kept dying, and then I just like ignored the well for the rest.
Yeah.
And I thought I was done, and then I started going down that path, and then eventually you get to like this dark area where like I don't know, where ladders end and then you fall. Right?
Yeah, a lot of ladders, a lot of like scaffolding you're climbing around on.
Yeah, you just get baited by ladders, and it's super dark. And I just went down a ladder, got baited, fell down the ladder, died, and I was just, and it was like 20 minutes in to like this area, and I'm like, I don't want to play anymore. Like,
and then you put the game down ever since.
Yeah, and like this is like after I went through like I beat all 3 areas, and I thought I was done. I beat the DLC, and I thought I was done, and then I found this new area, and I couldn't find it initially, and then I clawed my way into it with Trey's help, and then found the dark area and got frustrated. I'm just like, okay, I'm done. And I haven't picked up the game since like probably 4 months from today. So,
which is fair enough, I guess.
That's my Dark Souls 2 review.
My review is that I really enjoyed the DLC parts. There's like 3 different DLCs in it. And the DLCs, I always say this, they simultaneously have the best parts and the worst parts of the game, because each DLC has its own area that like, it's just designed really badly, and it's like super cheap and like hard to get through.
Yeah.
But the other parts of it are really well made with like really good level design and interesting gimmicks and stuff. And I don't know, Dark Souls 2 had like so many bosses, and coming from Dark Souls 1, since it was no longer like the first game I played in the series, I was super scrubbed going into Dark Souls 1. And then going into 2, I had the experience from the first game. So that's like a huge boost to just like being able to get shit done, knowing how to like fight stuff a little better. Which might be most of the reason why I got into it more, but who really knows? Maybe I just enjoyed it more.
I remember talking to you at some point, and you said that you regretted, I'm pretty sure, I might be paraphrasing or like making it up, so let me know. You said that you regretted not streaming your Dark Souls 1 playthrough?
Oh, no. I would have hated to stream that.
Oh, okay. Maybe making it up.
I might have said I regretted not streaming Dark Souls 2. Because Dark Souls 2, at that point, I was competent enough to like not die to Moonlight Butterfly for 3 hours straight, which is a real thing that happened, by the way.
But that's the fun of it. You get
for anyone who knows the Souls series, yes, I did die to Moonlight Butterfly. I think Moonlight Butterfly, notoriously not that hard of a boss fight, out of any boss in Dark Souls 1 and 2, is the boss that took me the longest to get past.
I'm trying to remember a decade ago, so bear with me. But okay. I'm pretty sure that Moonlight Butterfly was the like first boss that I went to, and I was just like, not went to overall, but like I went to, and I was just like, oh, and I died to him twice, and I'm like, I can't do anything about this. I'm just gonna like pass him. And I just left.
See, that should have been me, but I had no idea like what else the game offered, so I just kind of assumed like, oh, I don't know where else to go, so either I beat this or I'm just stuck forever, I guess, so I gotta keep trying. And like, I didn't understand how bonfires were. I didn't understand. I didn't even know that like kindling a bonfire gave you double the Estus flask, and I didn't know what kindling was. So I was just going in with my 5 Estus flask, grinding souls to get more arrows to shoot at him again, with like my super weak ass weapons. I didn't know about like upgrading weapons very well. I was just like ultra omega scrub. But after that point, I slowly picked up on the tricks of the trade, how to get through the game. So
you were playing offline too, right?
Yeah, I had online mode turned off. There were no messages. I had them on at first, and I was like, this is kind of weird. It kind of ruins the immersion, right? Why is this guy saying, oh, jump from ledge? But it's like a death. Or like, good something jump ahead, and then you just try it and it's like, oh, he lied to me. Okay.
Yeah, that's the fun of online.
Yeah, but it's like this isn't intended in like the single player experience. I'm turning this off.
Well, it's not. See, sometimes it's helpful where it's just like, oh, this is an invisible wall that I wouldn't have, or not invisible wall, like a wall that you can hit that fades away or whatever. But most of the time, it's like, oh, what's the? Do you know the meme? What is it? Fantastic chest ahead or amazing chest ahead?
Yeah, amazing chest ahead. Then it's like Guinevere in the next room.
Yeah,
it's like haha. Ironically, I think those messages help more than hurt. But I just wanted. I was like, it ruins my immersion. But I was just being stupid. So. And
then you get stuck in Anor Londo for.
Yeah,
20,
I didn't know
hours.
to jump on the dumb railing thing to get to the church. It was so. Yeah. Anyways, that was Dark Souls 1.
But yeah, but most of all, right?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been doing the podcast. You played Dark Souls 1 and 2. You haven't played 3 yet. Me
Essentially,
neither.
like we could go under like the blanket statement of when I was unemployed for 6 months, I was heavily considering doing YouTube full time, like instead of because I was doing a job search on the side, but also there was a part of me that was like, maybe I can make YouTube work because I got like a decent amount of revenue from the Speedrunners Hit the Runs video. Then I made the pausing is weird video, which also did pretty well. But I was like, this doesn't seem sustainable. And even if it was sustainable, I feel like if I did YouTube full time, I would eventually grow to like resent doing it and not enjoy making videos anymore. Which may not happen, but it also could happen. And I would hate for my passion to become something that I don't enjoy doing anymore. Just because I need to like do it for my livelihood.
That's fair.
So yeah, I was sort of just like soul searching, in Dark Souls in real life. I was. Yeah, I know, I'm hilarious. I was soul searching when I was unemployed. Eventually landed a job, which I started doing in March, a couple months ago, which so far has been way better than my old job. So I'm honestly glad that worked out. But at the same time, I am not doing YouTube full time, which means videos, the high effort videos that you probably like from me if you're a viewer of my main channel are not going to come very frequently. Hence the 6-month pause between the weird pausing video and the chain chomp video that I made recently. But yeah, and also, okay, one more thing. I've been talking for a while, but one last
that's fine.
Important points I've been neglecting, except for I've responded to some comments that were wondering about it. At the end of my weird pausing video, I mentioned how that video was initially going to be a footnote in a larger SMS video project I was working on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was like going to come out in the near future. Well, basically, I made that promise not knowing when I'd ever be working again or if I ever would work again. So I was like, yeah, I'll have all the time in the world to make this video. Why not? I'll just mention it. And that video has been on the back burner ever since. I still have like the script so far for it, and I could continue it whenever I want. Not going to spoil what it is still, but basically, no future. It's going to be like, it's like the Metroid Dread of my channel, right? Where maybe like 19 years from now, you'll see it.
Okay, that's fair.
Not that long, but I think I could see it coming out someday.
It's the footnote in the video that we're like kind of working on together, right?
Yeah, the one thing that I will mention, it was going to be a collaborative video with me and Sid, like alternating voice lines, essentially.
Yeah.
And I still think it's a pretty good idea for a video, and we occasionally like take notes on more stuff that should go into it.
Yeah.
But we're not going to like spoil what the actual thing was. All I'm going to say is I haven't forgotten about it entirely. So I didn't totally lie on my promise. It's possible we make that video at some point, but just stay tuned, I guess.
You randomly mention it. Like, I think I was lurking in your stream one time and somebody mentioned it in chat.
Yeah.
And you like, you talk about it so vaguely that I'm just like, is that the video that is that the tandem video that we were working on? Or like, is it a different video? I can't remember.
It's always the tandem video, but I'm vague about it because I'm afraid that if I actually say what it is, like someone's going to hear that and like sort of pseudo steal the idea and make their own version of it,
Well, it would anybody else that would do it would be so slapdash.
Oh yeah, like we're like in the best position to make this kind of video, but I would rather just like not have anyone else make it, and then we make it, and it's like, oh, you're copying off this guy. So maybe it's a weird
like,
thing to worry about, but I'm just saying that people on YouTube, if they see an idea, they'll go after it, right?
Yeah, but yeah, so to not go into it any further, yeah. I just wanted to clarify that it's the same video that I knew.
Yeah, whenever I'm referencing the video, it's always the video you're thinking of.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
But
so other than video games, so you were working on some games, 1 and 2, and I was working on 2 a little bit. Other than that, I've been playing Rocket League. Like I've just been grinding Rocket League with old school Sunshine Runners, Pyro Shade, and Quaniza. I'm almost champ level. Actually, I was champ level until last night, and then I got D-ranked to Diamond again. But that's mostly what I've been playing Sunshine as much as I am most of the time, but that's what I've been doing game-wise. But otherwise, we've been watching television.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So for like the first 24 years of my life, I never really watched TV regularly. Well, when I was a kid, I watched cartoons, but like I wouldn't watch, normie television like Netflix and whatnot really ever. I would just pretty much watch YouTube or Twitch.
Yeah.
Until the past year or so, I really started getting into various TV shows, even anime shows, believe it or not. And it's been fun. I enjoy consuming media, I guess.
Again. Well, for me, I started in last November. You were just like talking about random television shows. I'm like, okay, well, I have nothing to do. When I'm not working or not doing anything, I'm just like, I'm gonna watch House again. So I watched House like 4 years ago, House MD with Hugh Laurie, or like the ABC television show, whatever. Is it ABC? Can't remember.
I have no idea.
But it's on Amazon Prime. And it was on Netflix before, so I started watching that through again, and I really like it, but everybody's right. Everybody that hates House is right, but I still like it. Like it's the same formula every episode, and like sure it's samey, but eventually it gets stupid and then it ends. So it's like inoffensive. So that's what I started with. I started watching House, but other than that. Trey and I have been becoming weeb adjacent.
Yeah, we haven't gone full weeb yet. We're not like Toph levels of weeb.
We can never enter that sphere.
I'm mentioning Toph, known Melee enthusiast and member of the Melee community. He has like all these videos like, like anime genre tier list, or like all these animes like ranked and whatnot. And like I've only watched like 2 of these so far.
Yeah, he makes being a weeb seem daunting.
Yeah, it's like, geez, there's like a million things I gotta watch to reach that level.
I watched like the first 5 minutes of his genre tier list, and he just like he looks at gaming, like the genre of a gaming anime, and he's just like he lists off. It's like, does this one count or this one count or this? And I'm just like, I've never heard of any of those 4 animes that you just listed that could maybe be considered a gaming anime. And
or like
he's
sports
like trying
anime. He's like, what's my favorite like sports anime? Like there's this one and that one and then
yeah, and
like,
he just like rattles them all off, and I'm just like, I watched Madoka Magica.
Yeah, see, I think that's our. It's more obscure than a typical like mainstream anime, I'd say.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. We watched it I watched it like a month ago. I was talking about like I don't think I'll ever be able to enter the weebdom, because like since I was a kid, I had an older sister that I don't know if you'd consider her a weeb even. Maybe she like cosplayed and stuff.
I consider her a weeb. Don't worry.
I guess she would be a weeb. But I was just her kid brother, and like I would watch Dragon Ball Z. Everybody watched Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid.
I didn't.
Well, 3-year generational gap.
True. Well, I could have been old enough.
You watched Drake
for some
and Josh.
reason. Hey, let me just make this point. As a kid, I don't know why I could never get into like the Toonami or like Japanese art style shows ever, except for like Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know why, but continue.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh's sick with its finger guns.
I love
and
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Joey. Yu-Gi-Oh is so bad. I remember watching Yu-Gi-Oh at my cousin's house and him being like, "You know this is dog shit, right?" And I'm just like, I don't remember how old I was. I was just like, I don't know. And I just shrugged
He doesn't
and keep watching
understand,
it.
man. Anyway, continue your story about weebness.
I grew up with an older sister who was a weeb, and I watched Dragon Ball Z, and I was like reinvestigating my nostalgic roots, right? And a lot of nostalgia comes from like old television shows for me. Like when I was 13, I watched Inuyasha because it was just like, oh, it's late night television and you get to watch an anime like with blood in it. And it's like, oh, cool. And I get a lot of nostalgia from like the opening themes and the ending themes in Inuyasha. Maybe not the show itself. Like I watched the first 2 seasons recently, but I don't know, it just kind of existed. But the songs are really good. And I showed KO them the other day. Like he went through them and just like, oh, these are all really good, even though he had never heard them before. But yeah, so I was like reinvestigating old nostalgia things, and I found Card Captors, and that's like so like Yu-Gi-Oh, you know Yu-Gi-Oh has the 4 Kids dub, right?
Yeah, the very infamous one,
like the finger gun and all that. Card Captor Sakura has the same thing, or Sakura. I don't know how you're supposed to say it.
Sakura.
Sakura. It's like pasta, you know?
Canadians do be saying pasta.
Pasta. Actually, they do say pasta. I'm just a hick, I guess.
I mean, I did watch Epic Meal Time back when they were big in like 2011. He always said pasta.
Pasta. I get made fun of for pasta. I get made fun of for pasta and washroom.
Hey, don't worry. I made fun of the Ruse Man as well for saying pasta.
You guys are mean.
But hey, the Ruse Man, he was very sticking to his guns. Like, he was determined to be like, no, it is pasta. Fuck you. I was like, all right, I'm sure every Italian would agree with you. Anyway.
But yeah, so I was rewatching, like, on YouTube, weird rips of old 4 Kids dub Card Captors, like the first 4 or 5 episodes, just to, like, get some sort of nostalgia from it. And I watched the fifth episode, and I was just like, oh, okay, this is whatever. Actually, no. Okay, scratch that. So that's not the story that I'm trying to tell. So I was watching that show, and I like Sailor Moon. My sister was like a huge fan of Sailor Moon, and I was just like, oh, maybe I'll watch a couple episodes of Sailor Moon to like relive my being a 5-year-old for a second, you know? Because the internet today, it's crazy. Like everything's just accessible.
Yeah.
And so I watched like a couple episodes of that, and I was talking about it in a Discord call, and KO, our new friend, who's probably going to be on the podcast within the next 3 episodes.
Yeah, I'm a big KO fan already. Let me tell you. We watched Stargate with him last night.
We did watch Stargate. I'm a big Stargate fan. I like the Stargate series. I love it, and we watched the original movie, and you guys loved it.
It was all right. I wasn't like super crazy about it, but you know, it was entertaining.
Thumbs up. I'll give that.
I'll give it 1 thumbs up.
Yeah, like I rewatching it, it was just kind of fun to rewatch it and be like, yeah, okay, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, it had like the main like nerdy guy was kind of fun.
Daniel Jackson. But yeah, so I was in a call with KO talking about those. What apparently there's a term for it, magical girl animes, and I didn't know, and he recommended Madoka Magica, which is like a 1 season show from 2011, and he's just like, yeah, it's good. But like he didn't give me any spoilers, but he's just like, hey, what did he say specifically? It's like it flips the genre on its head, and I was like, oh, okay. So like I'm expecting something, and it man, it hits hard. That show hits hard, or hit me hard.
It hit you harder than me, but I definitely felt something from it.
It's surprising. It is. That's what I'll say. Madoka Magica is a surprising show.
If you're not like into anime like I wasn't prior to like a year ago, Give Madoka Magica a try and see. It's only 12 episodes. I think it's pretty solid.
But I watched the dub.
I watch the sub like a real watcher.
Because
You know what? I don't discriminate sub or dub. I kind of just, what I do is I guess I default to sub, but I also am like, maybe the dub's okay if I don't feel like reading. And then I hear like maybe the voices are annoying. I'm like, okay, sub's the way to go.
I did not feel like reading. I when I turned on the first episode, I was just like, I'll just go with whatever it gets, or like, you know what, I'll try the sub. And it started with the dub, and I'm like, you know what, I'm good with this, and I just let it go.
Sometimes, we're lazy. We just don't want to read. And,
I just did not want to read. I just didn't want to read at all, and that's it. So my anime history now is like Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid, Sailor Moon when I was a kid, like Inuyasha when I was a teenager, and now like Madoka Magica. And I did rewatch the first season of Cardcaptor Sakura. So I actually like watched it again. I don't remember any of it from when I was a kid, but like I watched it. So I'm not a like we can never enter weebdom. Like it's so much work.
We would have to we had to like train under Shadow Mario 27 for like a few years to reach that level, Exactly.
And like use anime splits.
See, I would never go as far as using anime splits. I would never stoop to that level to easily get a 114 any percentile, which I obviously could. I feel like if I get a 114 anime splitless, it's a legit 114 with no assistance. So, yeah.
J. Cool does not count.
And yeah, the first anime I actually watched like fully, because Sid said he watched it and enjoyed it, was Death Note, which is like arguably the most popular anime ever, as like looking at IMDb and stuff. And I thought it was awesome. Like I was instantly hooked. Like the first half of it especially, I was like, I couldn't watch like less than 3 episodes at a time. It was so good. And then like the second half, it was still good, but like it sort of tapered off a little bit, Yeah. And the ending was like, okay, the ending makes sense, Yeah, that it ends that way.
Yeah,
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, we're being very good about not spoiling anything.
But yeah, like the first half of Death Note especially, like, oh my god, like the mystery elements of it, and like the whole like game of chess between two people. I like same with like season 4 of Breaking Bad. I love that kind of stuff.
I like that you say two people, like people don't know it's Light and L.
For the one person who hasn't seen Death Note, which was me prior to a few months ago. So it's not everyone's like, a weeb.
There's one dude sitting there going like, there's a chess game between two people, and everybody else is just like, we know you're talking about Light and L.
It's actually it's a chess anime.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Queen's Gambit just drawn.
Pretty much.
We haven't done a podcast since Queen's Gambit blew up.
Oh shit! I actually watched Queen's Gambit as well.
I watched the first episode.
Queen's Gambit might be my favorite chess anime, and the only one that I watched. It's not an
anime. My favorite chess anime is the Queen's Gambit.
It's about as much anime as Cory in the House is. I'm just being a memer. I think after Death Note I watched Madoka Magica, right? And then I watched One Punch Man, which was, again, another like parody of anime in a way.
I don't get that take. Like I get it, but I don't get it.
It's sort of like a parody of just like like almost all anime is just like action-y stuff where it's like, oh, the bad guy, we needed to stop him. And it's like all this build up to like defeating him and stuff, and they all team together. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into fucking One Punch right now, but it.
Do you have complaints about One Punch?
I'm not complaining. I'm sort of explaining it. Everyone knows what One Punch is. Death Note. Maybe one person doesn't know One Punch. Even if you don't watch anime at all, like the general idea, right?
Yeah, he's overpowered,
and that's sort of, it's like, oh well, it removes like any tension when he's fighting, but at the same time, it's like no one ever recognizes him for doing anything, because like, oh, he's clearly cheating.
His issue is that he's so strong that it's like unbelievable, and he confronts everything in such a, I don't like his problems are not the like strength related. Everybody else's problems are strength related, and he's just like his problem is like disguising that he's not as strong, or like the interactions between everybody is his issue.
He's really bad at like branding himself as a strong guy, so like no one actually knows what he does.
Yeah, he's like a C or B ranked hero.
Because he got a bad score on the written part of the test.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I watched that, and then I'm actually currently watching Steins Gate as another SMSer recommended to Sid when he mentioned watching Matica, and I can see why he recommended it. Steins Gate has definitely some parallels to it, but it's an entirely different story, obviously. And Steins Gate's been really, really good. I've watched most of it so far, so.
So yeah, we've been casually viewing things. We actually stayed on top of like current events, kind of, and we watched Invincible.
Oh yeah, I did watch Invincible too. I thought it was pretty good.
We watched KO and I watched that like over Discord, and we had a good time. There are some pretty funny bits for just subtitle users. But other than that, I liked Invincible. You know what? I had a prediction for one of the characters to go bad, and they didn't go bad, and I'm not sad about it, but I think they could make a really good evil person. And that's it. That's all I can really say.
Talking about shows kind of sucks on this, because if we mention anything, it's like, oh, that's spoilers.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's really going to care, though.
You know what? Whatever show he recommends, just give it a watch, and then we'll be friends forever.
Then we'll be friends forever.
GG. Gug easy. Gug easy clap.
Gug easy clap.
Do we want to get it? Okay, we have the thing is the main beneficial thing to taking a break from the podcast that we got was in between the ending of season 1 and now, we have like an enormous list of possible podcast topics like built up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I just want to touch on is what's the least or most friendly way, or what's the best manners you can have when you beat someone in a game?
Okay, so you're asking me.
Yes.
Okay, you say GG and leave.
GG and leave?
It's just GG, right? It's just GG.
Or maybe... So, okay, GG versus GG smile. Go.
Just GG, right?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, because like the smile is kind of like a dickish thing, right?
Yeah. The smile is like self-referential. It's like, we just played a game, right? And I won. So GG smile is like, haha, I won.
And then, okay, the next layer, GG easy smile.
Or just, is the next layer GG easy smile? Is there a smile at the end of easy?
I don't know, just double down, fuck it.
Just double down on it? Yeah, that's no. That's a no. That's a no-go.
We can all agree that saying GG easy is never a friendly thing to do.
Well, okay. The only time you can say GG easy is if you lose.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Or it's like, or it's so close that it definitely wasn't easy, and you like barely won.
GG easy, exactly. It's only okay if it's like obviously you're the loser.
Yeah, if it's purposefully satire.
Yeah.
Then you can say it. But if it's like, if you did a Brazil in Rocket League, if you 7-1 to the other guys and you type GG easy, that is rude. You are being a bad person.
That's called a Brazil?
Yeah, it's like, what is it? We were talking about it yesterday. It's Brazil versus...
People in Brazil are so good at football?
Yeah, Brazil versus Germany. There's like a very famous game that they 7-1 them. And so in Rocket League, if you get a 7-1, it's like Brazil, you whatever. But I don't even have chat on at all in Rocket League anymore because it's the most cancer thing of all time. Like if you're losing against somebody, if it's like 3-0 and you're the people going 3-0, it's abusive. And if you're like randoms, if you're playing with randoms online, it's not conducive. Like if you're playing well, if you mess up like once, it's like cancer.
And if they win, they're like GG easy, and you're like, fuck.
And then you just throw your controller.
Okay, but yeah, this whole topic came from You were watching someone commentate chess and like have the totally wrong
They
idea
were playing
about that
chess.
stuff.
I think they're part of CLG. It's AKA Nemsco. And this is months ago. This is like when I think PogChamps was going on, like the chess tournament.
This was like the peak of chess popularity on Twitch.
And
just about.
Like I just tuned into her stream for 4 minutes. You know, it's like when I tuned into Linkus's stream, even though podcast is not going to know what I'm referencing. It's like when I tuned into like Linkus's stream and I sat there for 4 minutes. I was just like, you know what? I'll watch a Linkus stream. And he started like I was just like, oh, he's playing Super Mario Sunshine. Weird. And I was gonna watch him. I was just like, you know what? Something on the background. Totally fine. And he started talking about 3D All-Stars. And he started talking about it in just like, oh yeah, 3D All-Stars is the best version of the game. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to touch it. I'll let it breathe. Fine. He can talk about whatever. And he like talked about it for 4 minutes. I'm like, I have to leave. I can't be here. Like you can't.
3D All-Stars is obviously the best version. It's widescreen. It's better.
Yeah. Just like they made it so that it works with the GameCube controllers. I'm just like, I remember him doing that. I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to watch him do a 120 run or whatever he's going to do on 3D All-Stars. And then I had to leave after a few minutes. Like I didn't type anything in the chat. I didn't go like, you're an idiot. You're wrong. I didn't do any of that because I don't do any of that. But I just had to leave. I had to leave.
Like 12-year-old me in that situation would do that. But like when you mature, you realize that internet arguments do nothing.
Yes. So that's a similar thing that happened in AKA. I don't know if it's Aka Nemsco. I don't know, Nemsco. Mm-hmm. And she was talking about like post game parlance, like GG and stuff. And I swear, maybe I'm misinterpreting it. You know, like you saw the clip, right? She seemed pretty earnest.
Yeah, but it's like maybe she's on some level of irony that we're not picking up on.
I know. See, the internet is so broken.
Yeah.
Like you don't know if she's being serious or whatever. You don't know who's being serious or who's being like 3-layer irony or I don't know. But the only reason that I wrote all this down is because I watched I was watching like just tuned in for a 3-minute period and she was talking about post game parlance and she said GG Easy was the most GG Easy smile was the most polite thing to say after a game. Like after 5 minutes of talking about it.
Like no,
but like,
no.
But like somewhat serious. Like you saw the clip too.
Yeah. The clip exists. I've seen it with my own eyes.
It seems like she's serious, and we were just like talking about it. I'm like, no.
Like no. Like, in what universe is winning a game and saying GG easy good manners? That's like the most dickish thing you can do.
It's just like I can't imagine.
It's so easy. You're nothing. Get out of here.
Like if I play Melee randoms online, which never happens lately, I don't like. They added the D-pad commands. They added D-pad commands to Slippy so that you can do like GG or okay or like random Rocket League tier interactions. Which Rocket League, you can use them in super cancerous ways. You know what you say when you miss a ball and like it goes in. You know, like you're defending and you were in the perfect position
like a goalie.
You mess up as a goalie. You know what the quick command is for your teammate to do in that moment?
What?
Epic save.
That's right.
And it's just because like epic save, it's there innocently, right?
Gamers are so toxic, man.
It's like, hey, epic save, bro. Whatever, great pass, nice shot. You know what happens? Like if you're in a random online situation with somebody that you don't know and you fuck up, all those, but ironically.
Yeah.
And same with, to be fair, I don't play randoms online, right? Like I don't lose all that often, or I guess I don't lose all that often. I don't lose against randoms online all that often, so maybe there's a lot of cancer that can come from that. All I've gotten is like okay and GG. That's all. I've never put in any of those, but like if there was a GG easy smile option, I can't imagine. I thinking about it now, like 3 months later, she had to have been memeing.
I don't know. We got to watch the clip again and just remember, like, no, she actually was being serious. Goddamn. That's crazy.
It's
The best manners you can have is saying GG easy when you win, guys. Come on.
Or it was just like GG smile. But also, I'm kind of against GG smile too.
I think the smile is not nearly as egregious as easy.
Yeah, easy's fucked.
If I see a smile after I lose, like I'm okay with that. You know, it tells to me they are saying GG but want to come off in like a friendly way, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, at least I want to assume that so I don't feel as bad about myself.
See, I think even though I have like chat off in Rocket League and all that, like I think the worst in my opponents. I think the worst. Like Pyro and I are on a team. I don't play with randoms, so that like the way I play doesn't. If it doesn't mesh well with them, I don't have to interact with other people that I don't know for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have. But I think the ultimate I think the worst of the opposing team, even though I cannot see what they're saying, like they could be typing into the void randomly. Pyro and I talk to one another and be like, they're typing into the void right now. Like we can like sense it, even though we don't know. Like we think that they're like either raging at each other or raging at us, or like if we're down 3-0 or 2-0 or something, they're talking shit. Like I always think the worst. Even though I never played like LOL or any of those games online, I always just think the worst I can't imagine playing like solo queue Dota or LOL. I can't imagine it.
I think you just have to try to not give a fuck to enjoy those games.
I can't. I don't know which word I need to use here. Empathetic, sympathetic.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. That's why I always gravitate towards single player games. I think that's why I like speedrunning so much, because you're not like directly competing with anyone. You're just doing your own single player thing, and like you can't affect anyone else. And I don't know, multiplayer, I hate the feeling. I already suck at PC shooters because I grew up playing like console shooters and stuff. I didn't play a PC shooter till like Overwatch in 2016.
Oh yeah.
So like I basically have no experience with PC shooters. My aim is terrible. I suck with a mouse. And I just hate that feeling that I'm only a detriment to my team. And it just, I don't know, I can't get over that. I just gravitate towards the single player stuff in speedrunning because it's just like, oh, I don't mind sucking because I'm only affecting myself and I can just get better easily. So
see, I don't have that issue. I have, if any, the issue in Rocket League is I think I'm too good. Like
you're too good.
Like I don't think I'm too good. That sounds wrong. It's like I don't ever think I'm a detriment, and then I have to like beat myself into realizing, hey, I suck. like it's always my teammates fucked up, and then I have to like convince myself that I screwed up and how I did it.
It seems like a roller coaster of emotions in that game because you get like an amazing play one time, you're like, I'm the best fucking Rocket Leaguer ever. And then you lose the next game, you're like, this game sucks.
Dude, Rocket League, especially where we're at like high diamond, low champ, the whiplash is strong. It's like you can destroy one team and then you go into the next game and they're the same rank, like exactly the same rank, and they destroy you.
And I feel like in that kind of game, it's so easy to have a bad game if you just keep barely missing your mark and stuff.
Yes. If you miss 2 balls, it's GG.
I feel
it's
like
GG,
any
smile.
one-off game shouldn't be like the tell of like the other team's skill. Like you got to give it a few probably.
Yeah.
I'm saying this as someone who's never played Rocket League except for like one, so I'm clearly a pro here. But
you should play with us. 4s, man.
Yeah, I'll find someone more my skill level.
4s, dude.
Can we just play with all these champ level players as a newbie? That'd be good.
Well, to be fair, 4s doesn't have a comp mode, so it would just be like other 4s, right?
Oh yeah, but it's still just like I'm just kind of here, guys, just doing my thing.
With Quan, when Quan started, he was plat, and Pyro and I were like, not saying that. I think he started as gold actually, and we were carrying him up, and he's gotten a lot better since. Seeing Quan improve is very Like Quan's been on the show before. He was in season 1. I think he was on like 2 or 3 episodes.
Quan's a gamer.
Yeah, Quan's a gamer, and seeing him improve has brought a tear to my eye. You know, it's very fun.
He's your protege,
as it were. Even though I'm teaching him actually jack all. Okay, what do you think about this, Trey? What do you think about telling, like, it's not mansplaining, but like game-splaining?
Yeah.
Where it's like they don't ask for any advice, but you feel like you should give advice, but you feel like it might be offensive to do it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like, I've rarely been in like a situation where I have to explain stuff, because the only game I'm good enough to be in a position to explain stuff in is like the games that I speedrun.
Yeah.
But I feel like the problem is, like, I feel like a person who genuinely wants to get good at something should be open to any kind of advice. If someone gets offended by the advice you try to give them, they're probably not too serious about getting that good, or like they don't know what it takes to get good. But if someone actually wants to like really improve and will take whatever advice they can, I think that they may not necessarily even know what kind of questions to ask. So I think it is good to just like step in and see like, hey, you could work on that thing right there.
See, it's so easy with speedrunning to just game-splain. Because
game-splaining?
Like, especially as a streamer, right? We've been streaming the game since 2014, and like less than we used to, but we are.
Very on and off, mostly off recently, but yes.
But like as a streamer, you can just kind of ignore chat and just talk about the game. Or have a podcast and just talk about the game. And you just game-splain that way, and if people are receptive to that, then fine. And if they're not receptive to that, they don't type in the chat going like, "Oh, I already knew that." It's like it's not directed towards specifically you. It's just like outwards.
That is true. Right? Like the way technology is going, you don't have to necessarily meet with someone in person and explain something to them in person. You can just get your message out there to anyone listening in via streaming or whatever the fuck. So
yeah,
there is
like
that.
If I streamed Rocket League, which I've streamed Rocket League once, and I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but I probably won't. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know how much I'd like talk, because there's so many good like I'm considered top 50 Sunshine player. So I'll stream it and I'll talk about it like I know my shit, because you know what? I know my shit.
You know more shit than most people around your level, I'd say, just because you've been around so long.
Been around for so long. Don't you around my level me. But in Rocket League, there's Omega pros that have been playing at the pro level since 2016 or like whatever. And I'm sitting there like high diamond, like my advice would be, hey, when you're defending, you can back more into the net so that you have more of an ability to like maneuver yourself to defend instead of like being at the corner of the net. Like I'm just clawing, like that's an example of what I would say randomly to people on my team in Rocket League, where they're just like having some frustration with saving the ball or like positioning themselves. It's like, oh, you can back yourself up. You can make it so that you have more breathing room in order to. But I can't like talk about flying because I'm debatably, I'm not. For how long I've played Rocket League off and on, I'm pretty bad at flying. So I can't really talk about that. But I can like talk about positioning, and I can talk about dribbling. That's it. So like if I streamed that's my problem. It's like streaming Sunshine, I could be like, you know what? I'm the foremost expert on Hundos, and this is my advice, and this is the movement and all this. Like, sure, maybe some people are better at jump spam spray diving than me, but like I know how to do it. But like Rocket League, it's like you see all these people just jump totally smooth, spinning, flying, hitting the ball with like the perfect hit of their car, and I'm still like trying to fly off the wall and hitting it with my tires by accident being like, a tire hit. Like I can't do anything about it. Like I don't know.
Hey, I mean, they're just tryhards, you know. Fuck them, right?
But then I'm a tryhard in Sunshine. I always lose. I always lose this argument.
Well, I guess you got to be a tryhard to some extent to be one of the best in anything.
You got to know your shit. And I feel like Rocket League could like lend to Sunshine, or Sunshine can lend to Rocket League, I guess. Maybe.
How so?
I don't know, man. I just have these. See, I don't even have Rocket League written down on my notes. Today's Ezio's birthday. I have that in my notes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, when are we gonna speedrun Assassin's Creed Brotherhood again?
Dude, I linked you somebody. So recently, on my YouTube channel, where I have almost 200 subscribers, PogChamp, Sided Williams, if you want to go sub to random Hundo ILs, but my most popular video now is like for some reason it blew up since the shorts got really big. In 2017, during Trey and I's race of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and I've talked about it on the podcast. Like there's a comment on the video being like, "Oh, episode 14 or whatever sent me here of the podcast," and like my video of the rip skip of skipping.
We've referenced that. Oh yeah, on the Cynicism episode.
Well, also on like some random episode otherwise, I think. But yeah, like we talked about rip skip, and I found 4 minutes of time save in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and
time save in other games, right?
Yeah, but I only found it in that game. But yeah, Hector Tutu applied it to other games, and it actually works in some of them. And like it for some reason I think it's at 11,000 views now for some reason.
Somehow it's getting recommended to people through something, but I guess we're not sure how.
Nobody cares about it, for the record. Like nobody's liking it. Nobody's commenting on it. It's just kind of like they're watching it, and I'm just like, why does this have 11,000 views now?
YouTube works in mysterious ways, is what I've learned over the years.
So yeah, that was from our race in 2017, and I actually watched like the first 40 minutes of it recently. I linked it to you.
Desmond part.
Yeah, yeah, just the Desmond part. Because somebody commented on it from the 11,000 views, was just like, "Oh, does the original VOD still exist?" And I'm like, "Does it?" And I went and looked it up and found it, and like it's the 4.5 hour VOD that I had to submit to speedrun.com, so it still exists on Twitch. And I watched the first 40 minutes of it, and it was like we did really good commentary for at least the first 40 minutes.
I remember it just being like we were just kind of talking about what was happening or something. You
know what? That's very like insightful to somebody that doesn't remember anything about the game 4 years later.
Were we like emphasizing commentary over just us racing? I can't remember.
I don't know. We were I think I might have been like to some extent just like talking it through. Like cuz it was a month or so of us just preparing for this one race.
Yeah, we literally did like 3 playthroughs prior to that race, right?
Yeah, for the end of 2016, we were memeing about it for a while, and then the end of 2016 came around, and we decided to actually put the meme to bed and actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got the game and played it for a month and a half, 2 months, like just establishing a route, not looking at the world record. So I guess we treated the race as some sort of like presentation, which is interesting.
And then we planned on continuing to do more races, but then we just lost interest pretty shortly after.
Yeah, like I think you looked at the world record and started working on it for like 8 segments.
Yeah, I started looking, and even more recently, I actually started going through every segment, looking at the record video, trying to mostly emulate what they were doing, and like maybe find little subtle changes myself that might save time.
You got a solid state drive, even though it didn't work.
Yeah, the stupid thing. So there's a really dumb thing in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood where the game lets you travel faster via horse in like the main Rome hub area if you have a solid state drive. So I got an SSD when I made my new PC in summer 2018. And I was like, oh, wait, I just realized I can gallop in Rome now. So I boot the game up, and I, for some reason, still am not allowed to go fast in Rome. Like, the game has this thing where I guess it thinks that the game's not going to run well if you travel through Rome too quickly. So what the game does is like, okay, if your hardware is not good enough, we're going to like sort of like slow you down by not giving you a galloping option on your horse.
It's like in Metroid Prime where you shoot a door and it just takes a while to open. It's loading the next room.
Yeah, it's like a hidden load time in a way.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I feel kind of ripped off. I got an SSD. How come I still cannot travel, like do the with SSD category, I guess they call it, because it's like you get this big advantage in a way.
Yeah, that's so dumb. There's a different category.
But I'm thinking it's because my SSD, maybe it's not because there are multiple kinds of SSDs. Maybe it has to be like a certain kind of one, but I really don't know. And then recently we had the idea, like, how about, because people who run PC games or like popular PC speedruns, they incorporate all kinds of mods to like streamline the process and make it more user-friendly and whatnot. Because honestly, modding PC games, it's the by far the easiest medium of thing to mod. Yeah. Like, there are mods now for Sunshine, which is a console game, like practice codes and whatnot, but it requires a lot more effort than it would for a PC game, I'm sure. So why don't they just like make a mod so that no matter what your setup is, you can always have the gallop option in Rome? That's just an idea we had. So.
Well, it was an idea we had, and if Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was if Assassin's Creed was a popular series to speedrun, it would exist.
Which it's really not.
Yeah, it's truly not. It would definitely exist.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, popular games get priority, which makes sense because, more people are doing it. So, duh, right? But
yeah,
we don't know anything about modding. So if there was a modder out there who thinks they could figure that out, listening right now, add the galloping option no matter what your setup is in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Boom. There we go.
If you do it, we promise that we'll do another race of it.
You know what? Yeah. If someone hears this an hour into this episode 1 of this podcast, knows how to mod shit, and adds a universal galloping in Rome option to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, we promise we will do one more race at some point.
We will invest at least 5 more hours into Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
We may not learn anything. We may just go and do it, like YOLO it, but we'll still do it.
Dude, that'd be so funny if we just YOLO'd it.
And we're only saying this because we doubt it's going to happen. But hey, people are talented, man. They know how to do stuff. So
we should do something dumb like that. We should just like tweet out like a month before that we're going to do a race of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood on a certain date, get Cynicism really excited, and then just YOLO it that day.
I feel so bad. We've blue-balled Cynicism so many times.
Dude, he's a Harry Potter runner.
True. He's a variety runner at the core, but Senna, he was still looking forward to us making the grand return and maybe racing him in Brotherhood, and we were this close. Then I was like, I don't know, I'm just getting bored, man. I'd rather play Sunshine or some casual game. I don't know.
I'd rather play Sunshine.
The game I've already played for like 6 million years.
God, I'm so sick of Sunshine lately. My God.
Dude, I just want to get a 114. For those who may not know, because not everyone on my YouTube follows me on Twitch, I've been doing a lot of streams the past few months of 114 attempts in Sunshine 90%. And I've gotten really close. I've actually been improving, especially my last few streams. My second to last stream, I somehow got like 3 115s in that stream, 2 of which were 10 seconds off my PB. So just extremely promising consistency in that one stream. But it seems like every run, I always mess up in different places or have different amounts of luck. And somehow, like, the cumulative luck and mistakes is always, like, just behind 114. And it's so frustrating, but I'm going to keep trying until I get it. And I've got faith.
You know what I've been inundated by on Twitter lately? I follow way too many people that tweet out splits for non-PBs.
Oh, yeah. They'll tweet, like, oh man, this run was so promising until yada yada.
Yeah, and then it's just like plus 40 seconds on the next split, and I'm just like, well, is this really like tweet out splits worthy? Like, I feel like tweet out splits is the most basic speedrun thing ever, and it's just like farming likes if you PB'd. And stuff.
When you post a picture of splits, it always performs better than just like only having text.
And I'm not saying it's a better tweet overall. It's just kind of like what you do. It's like the norm. And lately, a lot of people have just been tweeting splits of like, wow, this run was shit. And I'm just like, what? Like,
people know the meta of just having splits in something. Having like a picture of any kind will guarantee more likes no matter what.
See, that's why I respected your tweet, because I didn't watch the stream that you had very successful any percent runs. I always just catch random Mario Superstar Saga.
Yeah.
And King Boo.
Yeah, that's for those who don't know, I always say that because not everyone knows.
For those who don't know.
For those who don't know a goddamn thing.
For those who don't know, I'm Sided Williams. This is Average Trey.
I'm Average Trey still.
Speedrunning
an hour later
is when speedrunning is when you go. All right.
Speedrunning is when you go. Okay.
Okay. Yes, continue.
We're actually going to explain it.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, when I stream my Sunshine attempts, I don't do, because hacked file has been allowed for about a year now, where it keeps all the gameplay intact, but we skip the first 3 cutscenes, which is very handy. But I actually use Peach file, meaning I skip the first 2 cutscenes, but still have the court case going. And people wonder, why would I do that if I could skip all of them, maximize my efficiency? Well, I personally do a thing where is a thing I did like back before even hack file was allowed, where I would like spend 3 minutes playing a separate game during that cutscene before the run starts. And recently I've been playing through Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which is like a Mario RPG on the Game Boy Advance. And I'm at the very final area now, only playing it during intro cutscenes. So to put into perspective how many attempts I've done since then, I've put in the number of attempts to be up to Bowletta's castle in Mario and Luigi, only playing it in the 3-minute segments of the intro. So that's how many attempts I've done.
That is pretty funny.
You can just math that out, how many that would be, how many hundreds that would be. But I've been going at it. So
So would you say that's the way to play it?
See, I do it personally. I think it's a fun gimmick that I think Wilco invented with like Pokemon Pinball back in the day.
Yeah.
It's a fun gimmick. And also, I feel like if I did hacked file just going into runs over and over again, like with no breaks, I think having a small break in between runs, as stupid as it sounds, it's like a fun like mental rest. And like that short mental break between runs sort of accelerates my ability to get a good run, or maybe like increases my likelihood of getting a good run the next time versus like burning out super fast.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but if you're a speedrunner, you can probably like relate to that. I used to run Pac-Man World 2, and Pac-Man World 2 is very nice because you can actually skip all the cutscenes in that game. Thank you, Namco. But the thing is, I would find myself getting burnt out pretty fast because I was just like doing World 1 over and over again because it's very, very reset heavy game at a high level. And just going back into it over and over again, I find myself not being able to stream for as long because I'm just like, oh man, this World 1 and 2 is such a slog and I need like a rest. But with a forced break in between runs via playing a separate game, I just like doing it is the the ultimate summary of that, I guess.
I'm going to admit something. My question was actually directed towards Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Okay, yeah. But I had to clarify why we were talking about that in the first place.
Oh, okay, sure. Is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is it better to play in 3-minute bursts?
No, I would not recommend doing it that way. Which is why I would, if you also run Sunshine or a separate game with an intro and want to use the same idea, I would recommend not doing a game you never played before. Always pick a game that you've already played in the past that you wouldn't mind. Like you already know how it feels playing like the usual way and not in 3-minute bursts.
Mm-hmm.
Like people have been suggesting like, oh, play Pokemon whatever or play Mother 3 during the intro. And it's always a game that I never played before. I'm like, I don't want to experience that game for the first time in this weird, janky 3-minute segment. Like, no, that wouldn't work well for me.
In this weird alternate reality where I can only play it for 3 minutes at a time.
Like 3 minutes every 10 minutes to 1 hour.
Yeah.
So I can only do this method because I played Pack Attack before, or like Tetris doing the same thing. So
the only game that I've ever done with it is Minesweeper. But only like a handful of times. And I can't even do, like, people would be able to do hard mode. I can't do hard mode fast enough to
expert mode takes me like, I think I've been in expert mode like one time. It's taken me like 300 plus seconds at least. So
yeah, and I only got 3 minutes, bro. I can't.
Yeah, you don't got time for that.
So, like, if I get godlike at Minesweeper, then it would be just airstrip into the most stressful Minesweeper I've ever played in my life, and then speedrunning.
I feel like it's extremely free to get through medium mode in that time.
Yeah.
But extra mode, yeah, it's not enough time for that.
Oh.
Unless you're a god, of course. Have we got time for like one more topic or something?
Sure. I was trying to think of what we've been doing Sunshine related. And
you've been doing a lot of hundos.
I've been doing a lot of hundos, and I kind of want to talk about hundos to some extent.
Can we get okay? I know you've told me in the past. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do runs on this day. Oh, I'm gonna do runs this day. Do we have like a timeline of like a set day you are probably gonna do a run, or are you like unsure on that?
Okay, so this weekend I'm not busy, but like next week being Canada Day and stuff, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, right, Canada Day, of course.
You got July 4th. It's gonna be after next week. So I sided Williams. Trey and I play Sunshine. We speedrun Sunshine. But this is a speedrunners podcast. We're gamers. Video games are hard. Explained.
Yes.
I've been really... So I don't like doing any percent. I haven't liked doing any percent for like 3 years, probably. And I was okay, you have to explain this one thing, all right? So I was trying to set that up or whatever. I'm doing True All Hundos. It's a weird niche category. Somebody came into my chat yesterday, and I need to confront you, average Trey.
Oh God, I'm nervous.
On your stream the other day, they were saying that you were disappointed that I was investing time into True All Hundos versus 120.
Oh yeah, I did mention that.
I would like you to explain yourself.
I don't know if I was disappointed. I was stating it as like a matter of fact that like, yeah, he was learning 120 and then True All Hundos hijacked his learning of that. And that's it.
I was putting a lot of effort into 120 and I was doing like 120 ILs.
And for those who don't know, which is my saying now apparently, Sid for the longest time has never wanted to do 120.
Nope.
For years and years, he's like, maybe I'll do it. I'm probably not going to do it. Oh, maybe I'll do it. No, I'm not going to do it. This has been happening since essentially like 2014, right?
Yeah.
And only recently, like a year ago or so, maybe even more recently.
Well, since the podcast ended, so like early this year.
Sid was actually genuinely for the first time going through and learning 120.
Yep.
And I was like, dope. I can't believe it's actually happening. It's crazy. And then this new category comes into the fray, True All Hundos, which I guess you can explain pretty soon.
Fate had it. Fate one morning, right? I woke up at like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something. I looked at Twitch. I don't always go into the Sunshine directory, but today something guided my hand. Mm-hmm. And I went to the Sunshine directory and Lego was streaming. Lego being a newer Sunshine runner, mostly a commentator of like
great
the bingo
commentator,
stuff.
By the way.
Yeah, he's really great. And he was streaming something called True All Hundo. And I'm like, don't know what this is. Weird. Because, I don't know, people are just randomly making new categories. Like, even if it's, like, so dumb. Like, there's New Game Plus all red coins. Super lame. Like, there's just, like, there's just a bunch of niche side categories in Mario Sunshine that almost nobody do. Or almost nobody does, but almost nobody do. And
almost nobody do these categories.
but they exist. Like they make them. Maybe 3 people do them. If 4 people do them, wow, it gets. What's the rule for the category extensions? 5 people have to do them.
Yeah, a run goes on the category extensions speedrun.com page if there's at least 5 runners. But if there's less than 5 runners, it gets demoted, or not even promoted, to the Google spreadsheet of random ass categories list.
Woo! So I guess True All Hundos is still there, but True All Hundos, and I by fate happened to watch Lego and Modest Tomato do their first run of it months ago at this point. I think it was in April, maybe. And they were doing a first run of it, and it's every conceivable 100 coin shine in Super Mario Sunshine.
And so we're talking, that can include like multiple in the same episode.
Yeah, it's like you have to collect in each episode, in each world, every viable 100 coins. And my routing brain, because I really like hundos. I've been known as some sort of hundo aficionado for a while. Like I've had the world records in ILs. I don't have any anymore. I'm like really close in 2, but everybody keeps taking my hundo
There's
records.
Some IL
these
tryhards
guys
nowadays.
Anyway, so my interest was piqued, and I was talking to them about it, and I started working on it the next day. And I took like a break in between, not like from streaming. I was working on it kind of in the background. So I've been working on it off and on for like 2.5 months ish, maybe 2 months. And it's like there's 900 coins, or you have to do every conceivable hundo in each world. So it's like you do one in Bianco 1, in Bianco 2, in Bianco 1 in the boss room, in Bianco 3, in Bianco 3 in the secret, in Bianco 4, in Bianco 5, in Bianco 6, in Bianco 7, in Bianco 8. There's only like a handful of levels where you can't collect them. Like in Pianta Village, you can't collect them because there's not, you can't feasibly get 100, or not feasibly, you can't get 100 coins in Pianta 2, in Pianta 4, in Pianta 7, or Pianta 8. Like, you can't do them, so those aren't part of the route. But you can in Pianta 6, but you have to collect, there's only 6 coins in the level, but it's feasible to get the hundo, so you have to do it. Because you have to, well, okay, so this is what I'm going to paint it as, right? So I entered that stream, and they were doing the hundos, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. But they were dogging it the whole time, I think. They were like... They were like, yeah, this category is interesting, but like Pianta sucks ass, and Pinna, you have to do too much of the same.
And even as bad as Pianta 6 is, I feel like Pinna Park's the worst world.
Okay, this is where this is why I want to talk about hundos, right? So I've been putting a lot of effort into it. Like I've routed a lot of Rico. I only have a few more streams left of like, or maybe off stream of Bianco work and Serena work and maybe a little bit of Pianta and Pinna, but that's it. That's all I need to do. I've finished Noki, Rico, and Gelato at this point, as of recording it right now. But when I tuned into their stream, they were dogging like Pianta and Pinna. But the rest of the worlds are cool. Like it's interesting to route them, and like the variety of things that are fast, and why certain, like the different packets of coins that exist in one level versus another level. It's a very interesting thing. But so they were dogging it for Pianta and Pinna. Pianta is just a 26-minute grind fest. It's 25 minutes. There's only 6 coins actually in the world, but you have to cover a Pianta, or you have to uncover 2 Piantas, get their blue coin, and then drown them and uncover them 94 times.
Right, so Goobles, which I like to call Goobas, because I love the Goobas, man. The little Gooba enemies, little like rainbow bubbles that can spawn from the goop. Mm-hmm. You have to, so you save a Pianta initially, get a blue coin, and then you have the Gooba jump back on the Pianta to drown them again, save them again, and then they give you a regular coin. 1 regular coin.
Mm-hmm.
And
infinitely.
There's 2 Piantas right next to each other, so you get like 2 at a time, I guess.
If it works out. But yeah sometimes
if it happens to drown both of them. So you're just repeating that over and over again, and it takes like 30 seconds a coin almost.
It takes 25 minutes total. I don't know per coin.
Okay.
Because the thing is, you have to do the level first. Like, you cannot collect the hundo within the 3-minute time. So you have to just finish the requirement of the level of uncovering all the piantas and then do the hundo.
Yeah.
Because you would die. Like 3 minutes in, you'd be grinding for coins.
The requirement of doing the level, that's like nothing compared to the actual grind.
Yeah. You play for almost a minute if you're good.
Yeah.
Or less than a minute if you're good. And then grind for 94 coins from this. But it's just one level. It's just one level. But the thing is that you cannot, it's not relaxing. Like, it's not, you have to actually focus on what you're doing. Because if you, by accident, remove all of the goop and make it so that no goobles can spawn, you're screwed. It's over.
Yeah, you have to, like, take a gooble from a separate area all the way over there?
You have to, no, you have your pack of goop that has goobles, but, like, I feel like before you even uncover them, you have to, like, make another pile of gooble or make another pile of goop beside it so that you can, like, so you can spray the piantas and then have the goobles just spawn from their spawn area that you have. So this is the worst hundo in the game.
Oh, easily.
But it's not, it's like interesting, but it's not, I don't know, maybe see, I haven't even done a full attempt yet. So maybe after like 4 attempts, I'm like, maybe Pianta 6 is just like the worst thing ever. I don't know. But I remember they were dogging on that, and they were also dogging on Pinna. So Pinna, where I was going through, like, so Bianco 1 you have to do a hundo, and Bianco 1 in the boss room you have to do a hundo, and Bianco 2 you have to do a hundo. But they're like different routes. Bianco has they're all different routes. They're all not very slow. Like, they're all pretty okay. Bianco 5 is pretty slow. It's the second slowest hundo in the game. But the rest are pretty sensible in speed. And it's like they're interesting to route. They're interesting to figure out. I'm kind of getting beleaguered at this point of routing hundos and working on them. But, like, I digress.
Is that the word of the podcast?
I guess. It's the word that came to mind.
Annoyed or something?
Exhausted, basically.
Exhausted. All right.
And
Sid's kind of a wordsmith. That's like his gimmick on this podcast.
I don't think I've used the word beleaguered in a decade.
It'll just like whip out this exotic word out of nowhere. I'm like, well, he knows that word. What the hell? This guy's crazy.
I've been one of my homepages is the Merriam-Webster word of the day now.
Oh yeah.
Since the podcast ended, I've had that as one of my homepages on Google Chrome, and I've used none of them. Forswear is, I think, today's word of the day, where it means to lie under oath. So that's the word of the day, guys. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever use it.
For swaying.
For swaying.
It's not a good thing to do.
So yeah, a lot of hundos have different, like, there's some copies of one another, like some hundos where it's just like Rico, or no. What are the exact same? Noki 4, 8, and 5 outside of the eel room, like 4 and 8 you have to end one hundo in the eel room for 4, and you have to end one in 8. But the ones outside of the eel room, 4, 5, and 8 are all the same.
And we also learned that, like, ending off Noki 8 in the red coinfish room, isn't that like almost the fastest hundo in Noki?
Dude, a year and a half ago, it would have been record.
That's so crazy.
But since all of the hundos have been improved, it's like my PB, I think, is 10 seconds off of the actual world record. And
you were kind of hoping to, like, randomly find a hundo that's faster than any other thing we already do.
Yeah, in the back of my mind, working on this, I'm just like, it would be really nice if I could find that a different episode was actually faster, and that hasn't happened yet, and it probably won't happen. But that's the cool thing about Super Mario Sunshine. So like the intriguing thing about each episode in Super Mario Sunshine in each world is that there's just a different layout of coins. In Super Mario 64, like people love SM64 and whatever.
It's the first of its kind. You really can't fault it.
Like there are some things that are different. Like once you collect a star, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? Like, does the world ever change?
I watched a lot of speedruns of 64. I've only played the game once via the All-Stars version, so I'm really no expert on it. But I feel like the between mission changes are not as significant as in Sunshine.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But I'm pretty sure the 100 coins are always the same.
Yeah, probably.
I would be willing to bet, like, maybe a little bit. Like, I feel like after, like, in the first star in Bob on Battlefield.
Like, don't like the coin locations stay relatively similar, but the things you can use in the levels change, like the cannons and whatnot.
Yeah. Maybe.
Or like the wing cap.
Yeah, stuff like, the wing cap after you get the wing cap outside. Mm-hmm. Like in the first star of SM64, well, what you're supposed to get, the first one they get is actually the Chain Chomp's Gate. But in the casual run of Mario 64, you get King Bob-omb, right? And King Bob-omb is gone for the rest of that until like, and then Koopa the Quick shows up, and then the flag's up there. But other than those like staples, like after killing the Thwomp, the tower shows up. Is it Thwomp or Womp? It's Thwomp, right?
Womp.
Is it Thwomp's Fortress or Womp's Fortress?
It's Womp's Fortress, because Thwomp's the one that like is like.
Okay, I always get confused.
Maybe they both do that noise. Yeah, I don't fucking know. See, the Womps stand on their feet. The Thwomps are just like the cubes.
Okay, so okay, thank you. I always get those two confused. But like after you kill the Womp, then the tower shows up. But then the tower's up for the rest of it, and then like so I guess like the first star is a different world, and then the second star for the rest for most of it, like the sub in not Jolly Roger
Dire Ducks.
Dire Ducks. I only know the acronyms.
Yeah, DDD.
In a true speedrunning fashion, I only know the acronyms. But so like the interesting thing for Sunshine in comparison is that each world has its own like coin layout essentially.
Yeah.
And
it seems kind of extra, but they just went I don't know. Sunshine's weird because it feels unfinished, but in weird ways they like went the extra mile for some reason.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
And nobody before True All Hundo really gave a shit about learning or routing any of the Hundos that didn't make any sense. Like, why would you do this? It's so slow. Mm-hmm. But if True All Hundo becoming a category, somebody thinking about doing it, I wonder who thought of it initially. Like, was it Modest Tomato?
It was one of the bingo heads, probably maybe Lego or Mojongo.
Yeah, because some of them are relevant in bingo. Because I've never cared to learn them. Like I routed a few in 2015, but like having this category or like this weird motivation to learn them all is very interesting to me, and like try to optimize them to some extent is really cool. But Pinna, so bringing it all back to Pinna, each world has its own separate route for each Hundo. Except for like a few in Noki. Gelato's pretty much all different. Bianco's pretty much all different. There's very similar ones in Rico. Serena has a few that are the same, but like other than that, Serena 3 is really interesting. Like there's always that one interesting Hundo in each world. But Pinna, that's kind of a different story, because you have to collect each separate Hundo, each unique Hundo in quotation marks. So you have to enter like Pinna 4 or enter Pinna 5 and then get the beach shine. Like there's 100 coins on the beach, collect all the coins, get the shine on the beach, and then you enter Pinna 6 and you do the exact same thing because the beach is the same in Pinna 6 and Pinna 5.
The Pinna 5 through 8 beaches are all the exact same thing.
So you
and then
have
even
to do it 4 times.
5, 6, and 7 and 8. Okay, they all have the same beach, plus you have to get the shine inside the park as well.
Yeah, so you have to do 8 of essentially the same hundo, but at the end of the beach, when you collect 99 coins, you enter the park and then get a single coin and spawn it and get it. And then do that 4 times. Except for in Pinna 8, it's slightly different because there's no Snooze-a-Koopa. So you have to get a different coin. And then you have to do it essentially one more time, collect 99 coins, and then, but in Pinna 6, and then do it in the secret. So you have to do 9 essentially hundos on the beach.
Fun.
Which is a lot of it's one of the fastest hundos in the game. Like the world record is 1:15, but that's with any fruit.
Yeah, and we can go into more detail on this later. The general idea is that you're learning all hundos, and eventually you may do a run, possibly.
We can go more detail? I was almost done.
Yeah, but we could go into more detail at some point in the future.
Oh.
If you wanted to. I don't know. You're really passionate about it.
I am. Anyway, my point is, Pinna... my question was, so like in 96 shines and 120 shines, right?
Uh-huh.
So categories of Super Mario Sunshine. I know I'm getting into the weeds here in Mario standards, but we are Sunshine runners.
Yeah, I didn't want to lose anyone, is what I was getting at. It's like, what Pinna in the... What even is Pinna?
Pinna's a world in the game. Anyway, so in categories that do Rico twice. So like of all of the worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of all of the levels, the least offensive one to do twice, right? You have to do Rico 2 twice, do the blooper race, or do it blooperless as speedrunners do, enter the secret world, do the timer race, get the shine. You have to do that twice in a few of the categories. In more than not of the official categories. And it's like the least offensive shine. Like I can't believe that anybody thinks that Rico 2 is offensive to do twice. And I would challenge you to find a better level to do a second time. Right?
Rico 2 twice is fine because it's so short, and Mario 64 has like the exact same thing with the slide.
Yeah, it's just Princess's Secret Slide a second time. And so my point of view on the Pinna Beach coins, all hundos of that, if you had to do any hundo 9 times,
God forbid,
would there be a better hundo to do?
I mean, I don't like doing Pinna hundo, but at least it's fast.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's the fastest except for Airstrip.
It's also like the most brain dead, so, I don't have to think that much.
Anyway, that was my long point. Also, I'm working on True Hundo. I don't remember what my whole point was, but I don't know. I watched the Lego stream. It stole my motivation from 120 shines to be like, oh, well, now I'm working on this for essentially 2 months.
So now 120 shines is up in the air again, but, I'm still holding out faith.
I'll eventually get to it. I was working on, like, I got some, I don't know how reputable 120 shine ILs are, but I got a couple records. I don't know what it means. I don't know if anybody really gives a shit about those, but I got a couple of those. I'll eventually get back to it, maybe.
Cool.
In 2028.
2028. I look forward to it.
That's the timeline. But yeah, soon a true all hundo run, which will be like 4 hours, maybe.
I feel like the hardest part is just memorizing all the routes.
Dude, I have the shittiest notes. Like running through my notes, I'm just like, I don't know what the hell I was on 2 months ago, but these abbreviations. Did you ever look back at your like school notes and be like, I have no idea what I meant?
Not really, but I have seen like my old schoolwork stuff before. I didn't look at it too intently, but I'm sure I feel the same way.
Yeah, I just had no idea. No idea what I meant.
What the hell was I talking about here?
like I was just like, you know what? I'll understand. I'll put quotation marks here. What? What? I have I'm quotation marking. It's like, wait, I'm just supposed to know what these quotation marks mean? Okay. Right.
That's how I felt looking at like my list of podcast topics here. Some of them I was like, okay, I wrote down. I don't know. I'll go over with you later. Like some of these, I'm like, what did I mean by this? We'll figure it out someday.
I know one of them, and we can like end the podcast with it. I know I talked a little bit too much about True Hundo, but it's what I've been working on.
Yeah, it's been a big part of your life recently.
Well, it's been a big part of my online persona.
Your online persona, yes, which is more
late,
important than real life.
I know one of the things we've had a discussion about during our hiatus. We talked about the Rock Band mouthpiece note. And like randomly we had a conversation like that lasted an hour, and we were talking about Rock Band. You reminded me what this note meant, and I don't remember.
Okay, we want to end on a high note. This is the highest of notes I can even think of.
Yeah.
Okay, we had this hilarious joke. Like probably at the time we were like crying with laughter at how funny it was. But just hear us out. Like imagine, okay, you know rock bands, typically there's like the guitar part or the drum part or like vocals and etc. What if there was a new Rock Band game that had like a trumpet or a saxophone? So you're literally like you're playing like at a friend's house, right? And you're using the same mouthpiece to like do this fucking saxophone Rock Band game. And we're just like imagining this scenario where like you finish doing a song on saxophone, you're like, hey man, I gotta use your mouthpiece, bro. I didn't bring my mouthpiece.
I didn't bring my mouthpiece is the funniest
thing.
You
didn't bring your mouthpiece? Oh well, we gotta use the same mouthpiece for our Rock Band. I don't. It's not even that funny. Like, why was it so funny when we first mentioned it?
We gotta FC this one song in Rock Band with. We both got to use the same mouthpiece or like something. I remember writing it down and being like, man, that's the funniest thing of all time.
And I'm pretty sure we thought of this like right as the season 1 was ending, so we never got to it. But now it's like lost so much steam. But yeah, the bit is like, hey man. Yeah, I want to FC this song, but I forgot my mouthpiece, so I could just borrow that one.
Well, it stands to reason that Rock Band would have something like, because I'm using a Rock Band mic right now. Like I'm using it works as a microphone. So I like if they had a saxophone or a trumpet or something like equivalent, you would have to put your mouth on it.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Yeah,
and you would like it would like measure you like blowing air into it.
It would measure you blowing air into
Although I doubt you would have to have like very good mouth form like you do with an actual saxophone.
No. Yeah,
I played saxophone in middle school, so I know a little bit about it, but I don't know.
It would be very beginner friendly for sure.
It would not be very COVID friendly though.
I'm just thinking back, and during our conversation I didn't think of this, but I'm remembering it now. At my friend's house before I ever got Rock Band, I was a huge Rock Band like guy. Like I loved rock. I think I have like over 200 DLC songs and shit like that. Like I invested a lot of money. Like I think I got 3 different drum sets. I have the Ion drum sets. If anybody knows Rock Band shit, I got like the hardcore electric drum set for Rock Band. And I remember before I even had any of that, my buddy had Rock Band and we played it at his house. He wouldn't let me take off my socks to play drums.
Oh, so because of the foot pedal?
Yeah. So I would wear my socks. I think now I'd be okay with it because I sit differently, or I think I do use my socks.
Fair, I wouldn't want to like put my bare foot on that either.
You know what? I get it, but like in the moment, I was like, bro, we're friends.
We're bros,
fuck you.
Right? I let you borrow my mouthpiece for the trumpet. I can put my foot on this foot pedal.
Yeah, that's why it's just like, oh, imagine using the same mouthpiece. This guy wouldn't let me take off my socks.
Imagine them even making that in the first place. I don't know how it even worked, but that'd be funny.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But anyways, I think we should probably wrap this up, right?
Yeah, that was the end of the podcast. Season 2
podcast is back.
Yeah.
Season 2, new channel.
I'll try not to talk about hundos that much anymore.
And if you're wondering why our profile picture is EGAD, we may explain it someday.
Yeah, EGAD is holding our hands through this entire journey.
You can think of him as our mascot of sorts.
Yeah, welcome to Season 2.
Welcome
to the podcast.
Oh, and I guess we're on Spotify or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
Spotify,
figure it
Google
out.
Play probably. Trey will figure that stuff out.
Google Play doesn't exist anymore for some reason.
Oh, Google Play doesn't exist
We don't know what's
anymore.
going on. We recorded this sort of without planning all this stuff. We'll figure it out. All right.
All right, peace out.
Peace,
Episode
everyone.
1 in the books.
Bye.
Bye.